Welcome to Sideline Savants, a fantasy football podcast dedicated to helping you set your lineups, navigate the waiver wire, prepare for bye weeks, strategically plan trades, and ultimately win your matchup. Do you have what it takes to become a Sideline Savant? Yes, indeed. Welcome, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. I'm joined here by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Shannon Smith, a.k.a. Podcast Smitty. Thank you very much for joining me, Mr. Smitty. And you know what? This holiday season, I'm very excited. I'm also feeling a little Hollywood because, we talked about this a little earlier here. This time of year, the holiday season brings out the movies in all of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night. That was from 1950, All About Eve. So we're going to be dropping some movie star and some movie hints here throughout the show. And Mr. Smitty, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to talk fantasy football and looking forward to talking a little bit of movies. We do kind of need our movie guy, Sean Lucas, here. Mr. It Stinks.
Yes.
That would have been cool to have him here because I would be very interested to hear his favorite movies, his favorite movie quotes. But as always, I'm going to do like the great man, Dirty Harry once said, go ahead, make my day.
Well, my mama said fantasy football is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So, Mr. Smitty, let's jump in the show here. Yes, Sean, drop us a comment, Sean, if you're watching. Let us know your favorite movie. So, and guys, you can do the same thing. So, you ever have a comment or question, drop us a line here. Let me know what you're thinking. So, all right, Mr. Smith, I'm ready for my close-up. So, let's jump in here. First of all, you know what we got to do? We got to do our fantasy studs of the week, man. And Mr. Podcast Smitty, who was your stud this week?
Surprisingly, he was not a running back.
What?
He didn't play for the Colts.
It's crazy.
He played for the New England Patriots.
Wow.
He was a tight end.
Wow.
He's been Mr. Reliable for me for most of the year. Mr. Hunter Henry.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal game.
He sure did. 7 of 10. He had 115 yards, 1 touchdown. When he scored that touchdown, he looked like Russell Crowe in Gladiator. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Yes.
Is this not what you were here? Beautiful.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, he had a great game. Wish he was a little more consistent, but when he goes off, man, he goes off. And Drake May playing some phenomenal football there.
Yes.
In Boston, in New England. They are first in the East right now, and I don't think anybody had them playing that well. But my fantasy stud of the week, and my favorite movie line of all time, and probably helps most guys out when you quote it, because even though you're being kind of cocky with it, the chicks still love it. And it's I Love You, and I Know from Star Wars. My man Han Solo talking to the Princess Leia. Anytime your wife or your girlfriend tells you I love you, you just turn around and say, I know. You can kind of get away with it. So, but my guy that is completely obvious this week's stud of the week is Mr. Gibbs. My goodness gracious. 264 total yards, 3 touchdowns. He dismantled and made my Giants look terrible. I don't appreciate that, but I do appreciate the 55 points you got me, because I did have him in a couple of my leagues, and I ended up winning both of those games. So thank you very much, Mr. Gibbs. But man, this guy is a special talent. If it wasn't for Taylor having a phenomenal season, this dude would be up there too, as the best running back right now in the league. I think he's maybe number 2 right now behind Taylor, because Taylor having the week off and then Gibbs having a phenomenal game Around here we have short memory spans, so we just remember what we saw on Sunday. So right now, Gibbs looks like the best running back in the NFL, but we won't forget about Taylor because he'll be back too. So, what a phenomenal performance! And man, we got some other performances to talk about, and we got some divisional leaders I want to talk about. So, Magic Mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all? That's from Mr. Snow, Mrs. Snow White there. So, our current divisional leaders, we have the Pats, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh together. You have Indy, you have Denver, Chicago, Philly, the Bucks, and the Rams. Mr. Smitty, out of the current divisional leaders, who is most likely to continue and take that division, or who is kidding themselves and probably going to fall off?
I'll go ahead and start with who I think is going to take the division, and it breaks my heart to say this because I hate them. But the Rams, oh my God, the Rams are absolutely tough on the offensive side of the ball, and then their defense is actually a really good defense. They're a cohesive unit on defense.
Yep.
So I think the Rams are my team that's going to continue it. The squad, I really think that's absolutely kidding themselves right now has to be the daggum Bears. It
really?
has to be them.
Really?
And here's why I say this. Because Detroit and Green Bay do not know who wants to win the division and should have and didn't. And I think Chicago is a fortunate son. I really think they are. There's no disrespect. I get it. But they have been a fortunate son because of the way that Detroit and Green Bay just go up and down, up and down, up and down. And I think Chicago might get exposed, especially with that little bit of spotty defense that I've seen, because that's not the Chicago way of playing football.
Right.
They're running the football defense, which, there's a new look. It can be like that. It can be. But I think Chicago's kind of benefiting off of these two squads not knowing what to do with each other.
Well, I can see that. I love the Rams. I think the Rams, McVay effect, they're playing phenomenal. And we'll get into more of those. But right now, Indianapolis is, even though they're coming off a tough loss to the Chiefs, which they really should have won that game, but playing at Arrowhead's tough. So I'll give them a slight pass. I am a little concerned about Daniel Jones. He's having a reclamation season. Man, here's looking at you, kid. He is doing phenomenal. He was left for dead coming out of New York. So we saw this before too with Sam Darnold, who is doing great, and he did phenomenal when he was in Minnesota. But when the lights got bright in the playoffs, you start seeing ghosts, and you don't know how to play because you haven't been there before. I'm a little concerned about Indianapolis. I think they're going to still take the division. I don't think they really have any contenders there. But I am concerned about them in the playoffs, not having any playoff muscle memory. That does make a difference. And you can see that by some of the other teams out there. You talk about the Rams and the McVay effect. Those guys have won a chip, and they have some muscle memory there. To me, the pretender is Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they just offensively, they're a hot mess. Rodgers, hurt now. They don't have a really good running game. They have DK Metcalf, and that's about it. Their defense is good, and they've been riding their defense to make it this far. But Baltimore has caught up. They're playing better. Lamar Jackson is still that dude. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget he still knows how to play football. He's still got offensive weapons. And that defense, even though they're playing some spotty teams, the defense has shown up the last couple of weeks. So I have a feeling Baltimore is going to take over that division wholeheartedly pretty soon here. But Pittsburgh, I think they're falling off. I don't see them making the playoffs this year. I think the last games once again the lights get brighter, you got an old man there in Aaron Rodgers. I just don't think he's got enough to get Frankly. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. So sorry, Aaron.
Yes.
Sorry,
My
Aaron.
favorites.
You're going
My
out. You're
favorites.
going out. But the Rams right now are, to me, the best team in the NFL. Hands down. They are the most consistent. They look great on offensive and defensive side of the ball. And they possibly have an MVP candidate in taking the lead right now. And we hate to say that. And we've talked about this before with running backs and quarterbacks. Who deserves to win an MVP last year should have been Saquon Barkley, but it wasn't. This year, Jonathan Taylor looks phenomenal, but it's looking like probably Matthew Stafford is going to be in the mix for it. What are your thoughts, Smitty? If it comes down to those two guys, what are you thinking?
Man, they got to give it to Jonathan Taylor. I really think that this is the year that they have to get it right, giving it to a running back. Although Matthew Stafford did come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and he ran out of bubblegum. But I think that Jonathan Taylor has to get it because of the running back position. I think they missed the boat last year. I understand. Now, I will say I understand why they gave the MVP to Josh Allen. I get it. I understand why. Josh Allen did more with less. I understand. But in this time around, they cannot bogart the running back position. They can't do it. This is something that they have to get right. The last running back to win an MVP, AP in 2012.
Yep.
It's been a while. And this is not a gimme. This is not a gimme trophy. This is not a gimme year, where they're like, oh, we don't have to give it to a quarterback this year. This is not a gimme year. He's having a heck of a year.
Yeah, but do you think the current devalue of the running back position, lately here, the last few years, et cetera, the running back position has been devalued with contracts, et cetera. Do you think that has something to do with the voting and how people view the running back position?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wholeheartedly. Absolutely. Because when Saquon Barkley spoke up a couple years back about how running backs are getting devalued, almost every running back in the NFL stood up and said yes. From Christian McCaffrey to even the backups. There were backup running backs saying it. Some of the rookie running backs were saying that as well, too. All those running backs were standing up and saying yes. And it's true. Because I get the quarterback position is paid a lot of money. I understand the quarterback is the guy who gets the glory when they win and the blame when they lose. I get that. And that's been something that the league has done for years. This has been something that's going on for a long, long time. Quarterback's the figurehead. The quarterback has like the endorsements, all of that. He's the marketable guy. He's
right.
Your guy who goes into the board meeting and represents the team when they look at the team. I understand that. But sometimes you also got to look at it too and say, hey, he may be the figurehead, but if it wasn't for him,
right,
him, and him, he would not be there.
Right. And I can see that. And I almost think the NFL should adopt the college way of giving out kind of trophies, the best in certain positions.
Right.
I think they almost need to do that, give out the best quarterback position, give out the best running back. Because in the NFL, it's hard to pick one guy.
True.
Look, the NFL, there's 52 guys on a team. And to win in the NFL, you need to play as a team. Like, I know there's quarterbacks out there that kind of rise above the rest. You talk about Josh Allen. You talk about Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. You talk about these guys that are just upper echelon tier guys, but you have to have some players around you. You have to have an offensive line. So it's like, you have to have the defense. So like, very rarely do we see an NFL MVP win on a losing team. or a team that doesn't even make the playoffs. It really doesn't happen. And even in baseball, I think it's only happened a couple of times. I think Andre Dawson won it 1 year for the Chicago Cubs, and they were like a last place team. So to me, it's like the NFL. You can't just put one guy on a pedestal. There's too many great players in this league, and you should adopt something like college does. They just released all their finalists for all their awards, the Joe Walker Award, etc. So it's like, the NFL, you very rarely get the NFL MVP right. There's always going to be positives and negatives. You're always going to have people fighting, oh, it should have been a running back, it should be a quarterback, it should be a defensive player. Instead, start going out there and start naming, have a, Tom Brady GOAT quarterback award, and then give the best quarterback of the year that award. And this way you can kind of compartmentalize it a little bit better, and you can show love to the guys having those years. Because to pick just one, you got Matt Stafford having a phenomenal year at an older age. You got Jonathan Taylor having a great year. Jamari Gibbs having a phenomenal year. Jackson Smith-Njigba in the wide receiver position having a phenomenal year. So it's like, how can you put one guy when there are so many great players in this league? So I think the NFL needs to retool something there with this MVP thing, because I don't know. It's interesting to say, but you know what, Smitty? I'm also mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore from the 1976 movie network here. I am a New York Giants fan. I am not afraid to hide it, even though we are who we are. Slightly embarrassing. Another embarrassing loss this weekend. Went toe-to-toe with the Detroit Lions and then ended up getting hit by a bus, Mr. Gibbs himself. But as a Giants fan, we watched, and as fantasy football owners, we watched Jameis Winston go out there and score 33 points, threw some touchdowns, caught a touchdown. We watched Wan'Dale Robinson have a career game. He had over 100 yards in the first quarter, ended up with a little over 30 points. Smitty, I've been racking my brain as a Giants fan. Where has this been all year, and why did the New York Giants not start Jameis Winston in the beginning over Russell Wilson?
Pressure. It was pressure, because when the Giants drafted my man from Ole Miss, when he drafted Jackson Dart at the quarterback position, they already saw it. This is going to be the guy. This is him. This is who we want. And of course, when Russ started doing what Russ was doing, the first name that came up was Jackson Dart. It was not Jameis Winston. It was Jackson Dart. They wanted to see this kid. They wanted to see how well he could do. And Jackson Dart was like, "You talking to me? You talking to me? You talking to me?" That's what he was doing the whole time. And I was like, yo, he went out there and he played. And he done very, very well with what he had. Cam Scatterbo, the injury, I hate that. That sucks. But it was pressure is what it was. And they pushed that young man out there too fast. That young man had to get adjusted to the speed of the game, because that's every problem with pro sports. When you've got college guys coming in here and playing pro sports, is the game is so fast on the pro level. So fast. If you keep up with that pace, you dictate that pace in the pro game, you're good. That young man needed a little bit more time. Jameis, you really can't go wrong with him. You can't. But that wasn't the name that they were cheering for. That wasn't the name they were chanting. They wanted Jackson Dart. They got what they wanted. And now they're sitting back here on the Monday Morning Quarterback saying, did we put this guy out there too quickly? And the answer is yes.
Well, unfortunately, when you have a lame duck coach and people playing for their jobs, you make probably some of the worst decisions you can make. You don't choose and make football moves. You do things to save your job, and this is why it happened. I would have loved to have seen Jameis in the start of the season. Look at how much fun he is to talk to the media. So you got a media savvy guy, savvy guy. He can play football. He can sling the rock. Look, he'll throw you 4 touchdowns. Yeah, he throws you 4 interceptions, but man, he is a lot of fun to watch, dude.
Yes.
I mean, this game Sunday against the Detroit Lions, you had some trick play. He catches a touchdown. He is a lot of fun to watch. And of course, their defense failed them, which is why their defensive coordinator is no longer with them. But they had a whole coaching staff that literally was coaching for their jobs. And again, as a Giants fan, I hate to say we had a throwaway season, but this was another throwaway season. Look, I'm excited for Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, but they should have done this season differently. They should have started it differently. I think if they start Jameis Winston in the beginning of the season, I think they play better. His excitement, his passion for playing football, it is unmatched. He is just like, he is that dude. And I think we would have played a lot better. I think the defense would have responded a lot better with him starting out. But instead, you got, a watered down Russell Wilson who, what you were getting. You saw him in Denver. I hate saying that. I think he's had a phenomenal career. Look, he almost had 2 Super Bowls, had 1 Super Bowl, had 1 snatched from his hands, but that's a whole nother story there. But he wasn't the answer. So, and of course, hindsight's 2020 now, if things would have turned out different. But again, as a Giants fan, it's just very disappointing. But as a fantasy football fan and a fantasy football owner, if we would have had Jameis Winston to start the season and you can get 20, 30 points, man, sky's the limit on that one here. So, but, what are you going to do? As a Giants fan, I have been used to disappointment over here over the last 8-10 plus years. Yeah, it's getting long, but the 2026 NFL finalists for the Hall of Fame came out, and Eli is back on there. And if Eli Manning does not get into the Hall of Fame, that's a damn shame. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I know he's got a 500 record, but he only played with a Pro Bowler one time, and that was Odell Beckham Jr.
Yep.
His rookie year, he was a Pro Bowler. So for Eli Manning to beat the GOAT twice, have 2 Super Bowl rings, have 2 Super Bowl MVPs, to get the Giants to relevancy again. He's won more rings than any quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. So he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for that. But, man, I want to talk about show me the money. Man, Jackson, and I talked about him earlier, Jackson Smith-Njigba on pace to break every single season wide receiver record out there. And he did have a record-breaking weekend. DK Metcalf owned the Seattle Seahawks season total yards record with 1,303 and did it in 16 games. Jackson Smith-Njigba, with a bye week in 11 games, has 1,313 yards. Ridiculous. He is on pace to be the first wide receiver to make it to 2,000 yards and had a phenomenal fantasy weekend. 37 points versus Tennessee, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looks like he'll be a free agent in 2027. Podcast Smitty. He made it, Ma. Top of the world. Will Jackson Smith-Njigba reset the wide receiver market when he goes to sign his next contract?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think he'll do it. This young man has been dominant. The question this year was, could Sam Darnold do it again in a different uniform? They talked about, he might have, and of course, people like me were like, he had help in Minnesota. It's easy when you throw to Justin Jefferson and you've got that cast around you, that very, very good offense. And he took the money and ran. He took the money and he went to Seattle, and that was good for him. And when he went to Seattle and Jackson Smith-Njigba assumed the reins from DK Metcalf, they went out there, looked at the league, and said, "Here's Johnny," and he handled biz, and they handled biz. They've done really well. I hate it as a 49ers fan. I hate it but you can't deny it. This has been a tandem this year. Like Jackson Smith-Njigba was nice, but is he nice by himself? Is he nice as the number one? It's easy catching the passes when you got two guys on DK Metcalf. It's easy when you got Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker III, assuming the guise of a running back. So I get that. And Geno Smith was your quarterback last year. Mm-hmm. Now you got a different guy in there, and he's setting the world on fire. they've been killing it. You know, I like it. I don't like it, but I like this combination that they have here. It's not denying it at all. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba is the real thing.
He definitely is. I think you're going to need a bigger boat for all that cash he's going to get, and I think he will reset the wide receiver market. Knock on wood, I hope he continues to have a healthy season. I want to see him crack 2,000. I think that would be phenomenal. And again, how come we're not talking about him in MVP? Because he's doing something we've never seen before, or we haven't seen in a very long time. This guy is dominant right now. We talk about Puka Nacua. We talk about Justin Jefferson. I know Jamar Chase has been hurt and some other things, so we really haven't been able to talk about him this year. So, I mean, I know there's some other wide receivers out there that are having really good years. Devontae Adams having a rebirth. But, man, what Jackson Smith-Njigba is doing with Sam Darnold, Sam I Am, and not a huge cast around him. Like, you know, they don't have a huge number two. They don't have, I mean, Barner is a good tight end, but he's not, you know, he's not Brock Bowers.
No.
He's not Warren. Those guys aren't walking through that door. So for what Sam Darnold is doing in Seattle, winning games, and what Jackson Smith-Njigba is doing, setting records, catching the ball the way he does, we're watching NFL history, and I think it's one of those things that we need to kind of stop and take a step back and realize what we're watching, because, you know, right now with clickbait and instant gratification, we see these things and we're like, okay, great, all right, let's go on to the next thing, and then we don't sit and watch and pay attention to what we're seeing. So guys, sit, watch, pay attention to what we're seeing. We're watching something we're probably not going to see for a very long time at the wide receiver position, especially in an NFL. Knock on wood. Again, I want them to stay healthy, but, you know, where guys get hurt, quarterbacks fall off. You have to share the ball. You know, you look at Philly, you know, where A.J. Brown, you know, you get the diva wide receiver. Jackson Smith-Njigba is the farthest thing from a diva wide receiver that I think I've seen. He's a very humble cat, which is phenomenal. So, man, it's history, guys. So please make sure you're stopping watching. We're watching fantasy football history with him. He's going to be he just lights up the scoreboard. But we are literally watching somebody possibly break an almost unbreakable record, which is pretty cool. So, man, lots of fun to talk about. But now we're going to take a little time out. You know, this holiday season, guys, you know, you keep your friends close and your enemies closer. But my man, Mr. Podcast Smitty, is definitely one of my friends. So we're going to sit here. We've been talking movies. You know, we love sprinkle a little pop culture here on Sideline Savants because, you know, that's part of football. Football is Americana, pop culture. It all like bleeds together. And of course, you know, there's some great sports movies out there, but this season, holiday season, is always like when the best new movies come out. Thanksgiving into Christmas, you get that big pop where they want you to go to the theaters. Even with all the streaming and everything going on, they still do big movie releases here too. So Smitty, with all these new movies coming out, what movies are you most excited for coming up here?
I'm looking forward to the first movie. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man Brand New. Looking forward to Spider-Man. Spidey is my favorite superhero of all time. I love Spidey. Identify a lot with Spider-Man when I was a young man. And when I was a young guy, young boy, watching and looking at comics and all that stuff, I'm a Marvel guy. So Spider-Man Brand New, I'm looking forward to, and then we'll keep it Marvel because Avengers Doomsday.
Oof,
I'm looking
gonna be
forward to
big.
that
Oh
as
yeah,
well. Looking forward. I want to see what Robert Downey Jr. has as Doom. I want to see what he has as Doctor Doom. I want to
yep.
see. That's going to be fun to watch there. Then I'll shift it away into the Greek mythology realm, the Odyssey.
I
Now,
saw that. Yeah.
I know that they've been doing the Odyssey so differently over the years.
Yep.
Of course, they did it with the regular Odyssey years before, like in the 90s. That was cool. I remember watching it in school when I was young and everything. Then, they went the Oh Brother Where Art Thou route and, kind of made it a little differently, a little spin off there. That was cool.
Right.
Like that. But, want to see what they got with the Odyssey. But the movie I'm really, really looking forward to, Mortal Kombat 2.
Really.
Looking forward to Mortal Kombat 2. I know the first
Finish
Mortal Kombat,
him.
when they did, now see, the first Mortal Kombat in 93, when they did the first Mortal Kombat,
Yep.
that'll always have my heart. And Mortal Kombat Annihilation, that didn't exist. Heck no. Oh my
Right.
God. Terrible. Charles Bart, terrible. Didn't like it. But when they redid the first Mortal Kombat, when they redid it, I liked it. I was like, okay. Then I want to see what Mortal Kombat 2 has because my man Johnny Cage going to be in there. So I want to see this. I love Johnny. I mean, for real. Spun him off of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yep.
That's actually pretty dope. So Mortal Kombat 2. Looking forward to that.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, I'm definitely a big Marvel fan too. I'm excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is supposed to be kind of a street level. I'm hearing that Daredevil's going to be in there, which is going to be cool. The Punisher's going to be in there.
Yes,
That's going to
that's
be
why.
cool. I'm
That's
hoping they
why.
get some of the Sinister Six in there too. So
Woo-hoo.
I'm hearing Scorpion and some of these other guys in there
Please.
too. So
Please.
excited about that. And yes, Avengers Doomsday. I hope they do it right. I know Marvel um, usually does a pretty good job at this, so I've got my fingers crossed with that. Um, but I'm also a Disney nerd. I can't wait. It's coming out Thanksgiving. We're probably going to go see it in the theaters. That's how big of a nerd I am. But Zootopia 2 is one of my favorite. I don't know why. One of my favorite Disney movies. I love the original one. They got Zootopia 2 out. I don't know what it is. Judy Hopps. I just love it. Again, big Disney nerd. One of my other favorites is Rat Tattooey. I hope they do a second one of that too. That I'm hearing that they might come out. But Zootopia 2, I can't wait for that one. And of course, they got the new Avatar coming out, Fire and Ash. James Cameron, he got us on the hook. We saw the first one. We're like, all right, cool. Second one, all right, it's cool, doing the new camera stuff, whatever. Now we're still on that hook. So now we're waiting for the third one here, Fire and Ash. So I'm excited to see that and where Pandora spins off to. So definitely excited for the movies coming out this holiday season, man. So I still love going to the theater and smell of popcorn, etc. So I mean, the streaming services are nice, but sometimes I like movies, putting on a pair of pants and going out, not just sitting in my sleepy pants on the couch is nice, but that only goes so far. Sometimes you got to get up and get out, go to the theater. So, but give me your top 3 favorite movie. I know it's tough, but what's your top 3 favorite movies of all time?
Number one in my heart will always be the first Godfather. Favorite movie. Also, I have the book. The book is better, but the movie.
Books are always better. Yeah.
Movie incredible. Such incredible movie. I love the movie. Great acting, great cinematography, right. Wonderful movie, great story. One of the best stories around. Then I go to number 2, Pulp Fiction.
Really?
I
Okay.
love some Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
At my
Little Quentin
job,
Tarantino.
oh yeah, at my job, we pull Pulp Fiction quotes every single day. I always pull the "What does Marcellus Wallace look like?" many times every single day.
I
That's
have
just
gotten to eat a Royale with cheese before.
yes,
I got to go to
yes.
Germany once, and I said when I go there, we stopped at McDonald's. I specifically wanted to so that I could have a Royale with cheese, and I've had
Yes.
one. I got pictures of it too. Me
Oh yeah.
in
I
Germany
mean,
on the side of
and
the road.
one of the bars at the local bar that I have here back home, where I go eat at about once a week, where I go eat every Monday with my man Mr. D. They have a Royale with cheese on the menu. So
Love it.
yes, and it's called a Royale with cheese, and
You
it's
love it.
made
Love it.
just the way it's made. Called a Royale with cheese. I'm like, I love it. It's called that because of the metric system. That's
Yep.
why. So,
Good stuff. Good
so
stuff.
number 2 is Pulp Fiction, and number 3, of course, I gotta go sports. The original Rocky, the first Rocky, at
Okay.
number 3.
Really?
One of the best underdog stories of all time. Rock from humble beginnings. Great, great story. Even though the controversy behind the movie over the years came out, yeah, but what a story. What great acting. R.I.P. to Apollo Creed.
Mm.
Great actor. Carl Weathers. God bless you, man. Appreciate you for what you done. Stallone's still doing his thing out there in the world. Tulsa King is still dope.
Yep.
You know. So
Yep.
gotta give it to the Rocky. Gotta give it to Rock. Number 3.
It put Stallone on the map. Wrote
It
that. I
did.
mean, that was that lit a fire. That's definitely for sure. So that is up there. So my number one. I don't know. When I saw this movie, I don't know why it just resonates with me. I could watch it over and over again all day long. 300. It was one of my all-time favorite movies. The cinematography, Spartans. What is your profession? Dude, if that doesn't give you chills when he
Yes.
starts asking, what are you? I'm a potter. What are you? I'm a blacksmith. And he goes in Spartans and they just, whoo, and I
Yes.
brought more
Woo.
soldiers with me, dude. I'm sorry if you don't get chills, you ain't watching it right.
Yes.
To make a God King bleed. I mean, just yes, I feel extremely out of shape watching that movie. My abs are not like that, so like I gotta suck in my gut a little bit when I sit there and watch it. But it's just a because of course it was a comic book, it was a graphic novel. I don't want to say comic book, it was a graphic novel, and just for it to come to life the way it did from start to finish. Um, when he kicks him down the hole, man, over. That was it. I'm like, dude, this is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. It is just phenomenal um, from start to finish. A favorite. I have a framed movie poster of it. It
Ooh.
will always be. I can sit there and watch it over and over again. Phenomenal movie. Number 2, I love comedies. I love my man Steve Martin. He's had gray hair since 1972.
Right?
He still looks the same. Murder's in the Building. Me and the wifey binge watch that all the time because it's a great show there um, on Hulu. But one of my favorite comedy movies of all time, if you guys have never seen it, it's kind of low key, but My Blue Heaven. It's got
Mm.
Steve Martin and Rick Moranis in it. Steve Martin plays a gangster, New York Italian gangster in the Witness Relocation Program. You got to watch it. My Blue Heaven, Steve Martin. It is hilarious to watch him be this guy in the Witness Relocation Program. He goes from New York City to San Diego, a suburb of San Diego, and it is absolutely hilarious. Rick Moranis, before he kind of quit acting, he is funny as hell in it. He plays the FBI director that's got to follow Steve Martin around. Lots of quotes in that movie. He misses his dog. His dog's name was Fungul. So, I mean, just,
Ooh.
Fungul. He goes up to a hot chick in the frozen food section. And he said, it's dangerous for you to be in this section. is because you can melt all this stuff and then just, gets the hot girl, dude. You gotta watch it. My Blue Heaven with Steve Martin, Rick Moranis, hilarious, great movie. And number three, really changed movies and made you think. The Matrix, the first Matrix, the blue pill or the red pill, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, maybe we're not real. Maybe we are in something. Smitty,
Right.
I think we're in a, so that was groundbreaking again. The special effects,
Oh yeah.
the story, everything about it kind of changed your perception. And that's one of the things that I love about movies is sometimes you watch certain movies that change your perception. You look at a Saving Private Ryan, which is another great movie. Deep, changes your perception of things. Godfather 2,
Yeah.
which is still one of my favorite movies too, which is up there. Changes your perception of things. But man, The Matrix really did something when it came out. You never looked at movies the same, and every time you got deja vu, you were like, well, wait a minute, did I take the wrong pill? So my favorite movies podcast, Smitty, you complete me. Thank you very much for joining me with that. Awesome. I can't wait, guys. But yeah, go out there, watch your movies, hang out with your family, but make sure you kind of put Boom Broadcasting on here. Go on there, maybe stream some Sideline Savants. My man Podcast Smitty with Quick Hits. You got to check that out. We got some great stuff here on the Boom Broadcasting Network, man. I got 3 from Deep, my NBA podcast too. You got to check that out here. So lots of great stuff. You can check us out here on the YouTube network, Boom Broadcasting. But let's jump into, we have some games tomorrow, guys. So fantasy football owners, don't sleep. Get your lineup set here on Wednesday. So let's check out what games we have here. I got to bring you. Where does Smitty go? There you go. There we go. I bring you back there. I got lost a little bit here. So Smitty, we got Packers Lions, the 1:00 game. Of course, the Lions always get the Thursday game. Then you got Chiefs Cowboys, which is finally got some good games on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So Chiefs Cowboys, the 4:30 game, and then the late game, Bengals Ravens. Probably not as big as we want it to be, but fantasy owners, Joey B, the big toe, Joe Burrow might be back here on Thursday night. Is he worth a start in your leagues? Some of your guys out there, if you're struggling in the quarterback position, what will Joe Burrow do coming back against the Ravens? And then don't forget Friday, we got the Amazon special. So you got to check it out. I know everybody's going to be shopping, but 3:00, we got 3:00 game, the Bears versus the Eagles. Again, guys, start setting your lineups now. Hit that waiver wire hard. Go out there and look at it. Smitty, what game are you most excited about over the holiday?
I actually want to see, and much as I hate to say it, I do want to see Kansas City and Dallas. I do. Because it's going to be interesting. I mean, two of the best fantasy quarterbacks going at each other. I want to see which defense will cave in first.
Right.
I have an idea of which one it will be, but I want to see what happens. We've got this whole speculation of, is Patrick Mahomes losing a step? We've got this whole speculation of how much can the Cowboys slip themselves into a corner yet again, and no one puts baby in a corner. Remember that. So the fact is, I want to see that game. I am interested in it as much as a Dallas Cowboy hater I am. I do want to see the game. I think it'll be very interesting.
And I think that's going to be a good game too. And kind of both of these teams playing for their playoff lives. I mean, Chiefs, if they didn't win this game this past weekend against the Colts, they would be on the outside looking in. Yeah. Cowboys right now at 500, and with that tie, makes it a little interesting too. But if they can pull out a victory, they can start getting back into the wild card mix. And then, of course, Packers Lions. I love watching the Lions on Thanksgiving. I grew up sitting there, mom in the kitchen cooking, me and dad sitting on the couch. After the Thanksgiving Day parade, you popped on some NFL and you watched the Detroit Lions. Of course, for a lot of years, I got to watch Barry Sanders run all over the place, gain 5 yards, and lose the game. So it was always very disappointing, but it was a lot of fun. Of course, you had John Madden and the turducken, the chicken or the turkey stuffed with a chicken, stuffed with a duck or whatever. I mean, whatever it was. And of course, you win the turkey leg. You don't get the MVP. You get a turkey leg at the end of the game. So, guys, it's a lot of fun. Sit and watch it with your family, guys. Hang out. This is about food, family, and friends. So just have a safe holiday and enjoy some football. But again, guys, fantasy football owners, we got 2 weeks left. So if you're on the cusp or on the outside looking in the playoffs and you haven't solidified your playoff spot, this is the time to not make drastic moves, but it's the time to make sure you're making the right move and watch out because you're always going to have these odd games now. These Thursday games, kind of trap games. You got the holiday here. Are these guys going to show up? Or are you going to have kind of a lackluster game, that Friday afternoon game, an oddball game? Bears, Eagles, both offenses kind of struggling right now. Saquon Barkley, where are you at? The MVP last year, all of a sudden, you have disappeared this year. Very disappointed in that here because I love me some Saquon. He's a cool dude. It hurts that he's on the Eagles, but what is that Eagles team doing on offense, man? And the Bears, 1 minute they look great, the next minute they look stuffed. So we have some great games this weekend, guys. Lots of fun, lots to enjoy. I cannot wait. And you know what? You got to ask yourself, do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? A little dirty Harry there, guys. So, Mr. Smitty, go ahead and make my day. I want to hear some starts and sits. So everybody wants to hear who you starting, who you sitting this week. Who are we starting, Mr. Smitty?
All right. Quarterback position. I got Justin Herbert versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I think Justin Herbert might do a little something to that defense there or lack thereof for the Las Vegas Raiders. Even though it is a division game, I know these division games are very tough.
Right.
I know. But I don't see a lot of I don't see the Raiders giving the Chargers a big run. I don't see that possibly, but I think Justin Herbert comes away with a good game. And Bo Nix versus the Washington Commanders.
Interesting.
Bo is nice. Got to give credit where credit is due. Bo is nice. This Commanders defense, not so nice. So I think Bo is going to handle biz. I know he's going to be spreading the ball around just like Bo does. Running back position. I know we talked about how they may be a fortunate son. But Kenneth Gainwell versus the Buffalo Bills.
That's an interesting
running the ball pretty good.
Okay.
I like what he's been doing. The productivity at 92 yards last week. Okay. So, not bad. Even though the quarterback position, I think Rodgers is going to be missing this game this week. I think he is. So, maybe not a lot of passing the ball for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, give me Kenneth Gainwell against the Buffalo Bills. And, of course, your man Jahmyr Gibbs versus Green Bay Packers. I think he's going to eat on Thanksgiving. I think he's going to eat.
Turkey legs everywhere.
Dude, he ate all last week.
Turkey legs.
He did it for you and everybody else who had him on his team. So he going to eat on Thanksgiving. I think he might do a little Barry Sanders impersonation right there for you. Make you think about when you was a child. So, yes, Jahmyr Gibbs at the running back position, wide receiver. Give me Xavier Worthy versus that Dallas Cowboy defense, might I add. Defense hadn't really been that big stopping receivers. I think Mahomes will have him a little bit of fun towards the tail end of that evening, right there as we go into the witching hour of the day. And Khalil Shakur versus the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. although the Steelers defense is really, really good in the front seven, their corners, their defensive backfield have let by the most yards
Mm-hmm.
for receivers this year. So this is going to be interesting. If they can't get to the quarterback, then look for Khalil Shakir to have a good game against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And the tight end position, my man Hunter Henry against the New York Football Giants. Hunter Henry, he's been handling biz. He has been. And, honorable mention to Theo Johnson handling it at the tight end position for the New York Football Giants. But I think Hunter Henry would be a lock. And give me A.J. Barner versus the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Sam is going to be throwing the ball. I know that smith-njigba is going to handle biz. I get it.
Right.
But underneath, when they're demanding the double team, I think that A.J. Barner will be there. I think that he will handle biz. And Sam Darnold will say hello to my little friend.
I like it. I like it a lot. So, cool. Now, who do we got over here on my side? I'm going QB. I got to go Matt Stafford. Sorry, going against your Panthers. Panthers back-to-back Westies. That was a rough game to watch on Monday night. Your boy starting things off with a little bit of a low blow on your other boy Jennings.
Yeah.
Got suspended for a game. Definitely, with cameras all over the field and everything in HD nowadays, it's hard to get away with certain things. So you can't sucker punch somebody and not expect to see it. I mean, if you're in the pile, maybe, but he wasn't in the pile. But Matt Stafford, dude, MVP right now. It's hard to not say it. The quarterback bias does exist, and I think he's going to probably come away with it. He continues to play the way he's doing. At 37 years old, he's already has a chip. He's turning his career into a Hall of Fame career right before us, and the McVay effect is legit. And I think the Panthers are in trouble this weekend. Running back, I got to show a little love, my man. Our Cowboys lover, our boom broadcasting president, Mr. Michael Davis. I got to show you some love here. But Javonte Williams against the Chiefs, he's been running really, really well. Had 87 yards versus against Philly. I think he's due for another big game. I think he's due for a touchdown. How do you keep Patrick Mahomes off the field? You keep the ball out of his hands. You run the football, run the clock, control clock management. Don't give Patrick Mahomes time. That's what happened in the Colts game. They did not run the ball. They abandoned the run, and you gave Patrick Mahomes time to do Patrick Mahomes' thing. So, guys, run the football. Javonte Williams is having a really good season, so keep it. Let's go. Greg Dortch for the Cardinals is quietly becoming a really, really good wide receiver here. Going against the Bucks, they'll need him. He had a little over 16 points against Jacksonville, a little over 9 targets. So we're seeing his usage go up. So I like that matchup. Bucks reeling right now. We'll see what's going on with Baker Mayfield. Bucks not playing really good football. They look a little rough. Mbuka went from the stud of the year to he's missing an action. I got to put him on a milk carton somewhere. He's been missing here last couple of weeks. And then tight end position, Brenton Strange showing up for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, usage going up. 93 yards versus the Cards. Trevor Lawrence looking pretty good, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are winning games, and they're getting Brenton Strange the ball. So those are my starts. So, Mr. Podcast Smitty, who are you sitting this week?
All right. So my sits at the quarterback position. Do not play CJ Stroud against the Indianapolis Colts. I know he's been hot. I get it. I know he's been playing good at the quarterback position, boosting his yards, finding the end zone a little bit. But I think he's got his work cut out for him with these two good corners in Javarius Ward and my man Sauce Gardner. So I think he's got a little bit of a hard matchup this season. And for this week, and do not play my man Brock Purdy
Mm.
against the Cleveland Browns. Brock
Oof.
Purdy, Lord have mercy. How they won that game with 3 picks
Yeah, I don't
tells
know.
you a good bit about the team that I cover. And it tells me also a good bit about the team that's been having my heart since I was 5 years old. Lord have mercy. Very, very tough. Cleveland's defense is really, really tough. The offensive side of the ball, they can't help. But on the
Right.
defensive side of the ball, it's going to be a little bit tough for my man number 13 at the running back position. Now, see, we beg to differ on this one. I'm saying you're saying
I see
play
that
this
on there.
guy. I'm saying do not play Javonte Williams versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm saying do not play him because Kansas City, I think, is going to come to play defensively on this Thanksgiving
Mm.
holiday. I think it's going to be a little tough for Dallas playing
Well,
the
we'll see.
the three time playing the two-time champs, of course, playing them. Patrick Mahomes being the man on Thanksgiving. I think he's gonna have a little something to say in this one. Javante Williams, not so much. I think it's gonna be a quarterback duel. On top of that as well too. I think that's what it's gonna be. You know how this is. You and I have been watching this for a while. They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna pit the quarterbacks between against each other. That's what
Yep.
they're gonna do. That's gonna put butts in seats and people to watch this game. So Javante Williams, stay away from it.
Hmm.
And do not play Josh Jacobs versus
Really?
the Detroit Lions. I don't know what's going on with the offense in Green Bay. I have no idea.
Yeah, it
I'm
looks
still
rough.
mad at I'm still mad at Jordan Love. I still don't I'm still he's still in the corner. He's still sitting in the corner. I hope he counts the bricks in the corner. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I took him off my team because of that. But Josh Jacobs, I don't know why they're not utilizing him at the running back position. So don't play him. And yes, at the wide receiver position, I did say this: if Rome is burning, then Caleb Williams must be Nero.
Mm.
He is Nero. But where is Rome? Do not play Roma Dunze against the Philadelphia Eagles. And plus, that Philadelphia Eagles secondary, scary.
Mm-hmm.
So don't play him. And don't play Alec Pierce against the Houston Texans because the Houston Texans, very good defense. Might be a little tough day at the office for Mr. Indiana Jones. Not my man Jonathan Taylor, but for Daniel Jones. And at the tight end position, do not play Colson Loveland against said Philadelphia Eagles defense. Those are my sits.
Interesting. So we beg to differ on a few things, but you know what? We'll see. We'll see what happens this weekend here. And my sits are going to be Mr. Brock, not looking so pretty, versus Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett is on a
Ugh.
mission. I think he is going to break the sack record this year. I think, he's just. I can see him having maybe 4.5 sacks this game. So it's not going to look pretty. And right now, Cleveland has been infused by a certain quarterback on that team. So that defense is going to come out and play super hard against those 49ers. So, Brock, it's going to be a rough game for you. You're going to have Miles coming after you here. Kyron Williams falling off the map. Like, he's just, where has he gone? He only had a little over 5 points against Tampa Bay. I know he's sharing the football. Look, the Rams are on fire. The passing game is on fire, but that run game not looking so good. And they're going against the Panthers, and the Panthers have been known to stop the run. I know they weren't stopping CMC, but I mean, CMC is going to do CMC things. But Kyron Williams, I just don't like him right now. He's not playing good. They're not utilizing him very good. Don't start him. Wide receiver A.J. Brown had a great week this past week. 25 points versus Dallas, 110 yards, 1 touchdown. This week he'll do nothing. He's going to beat himself. He's going against the Bears. This is going to be that game because it just seems to be up and down with him all year. He'll do nothing for 2 games, then he'll have a good game, and then he'll do nothing for 2 more games. Then he'll have a good game, and then he'll do nothing. So I think this is the nothing game, especially you're playing at 3:00 on a Friday afternoon. This is going to be a rough game, I think, offensively for both teams. After eating Thanksgiving dinner, you're going to go out there and try to play football. It's going to be a little rough there. And then Kyle Pitts. Listen, guys, Kirk Cousins hates Kyle Pitts. I don't know what else to call it. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I know he's going against the Jets, but the Jets aren't going to beat Kyle Pitts. Kirk Cousins is going to beat Kyle Pitts. Don't put him out there. He's not playing well. He only had 4.5 points versus the Saints. Kirk Cousins barely throws him the football. He just doesn't like him. I don't know what it is. So don't start Kyle Pitts against the New York Jets because Kirk Cousins is just not going to throw him the football. And so we're getting late here. We've talked a lot of stuff. Who are you sleeping on? Who shouldn't we sleep on, Mr. Smitty, this weekend?
Let's hope the Truth to Fan does not
Whew.
go into full effect here on this very Thanksgiving. But my man Tyler Suge Knight against the Miami Dolphins right here. Tyler Suge, is he a product of, is he just a product? Is he just some guy that was just like, hey, go out there, like my man Al Pacino said to Willie Beeman on Any Given Sunday, go to the Buick. Mom's ringing the dinner bell. Hey, is that what we're doing here? Is that what we're seeing here with Tyler Suge? Might be.
Yeah, that's about right.
But, hey, Miami, they're playing Miami. Good little defense to beat up on.
Right.
So, hey, I think that he may spin a little straw in the gold, pull the Rumpelstiltskin for us. Who knows? Then I've got Darren Neal. I said I'm running back heavy coming up on these next few. Darren Neal going up against the Miami Dolphins. Hey, you're going to put a young crowd in there? You're going to put some guys in there, see what you got out of your draft class, your younger players. Let them play.
Go get you a contract.
Yes, exactly. You play grand old party crash to some of these guys right here. Hey, why not? Let the young mans play. Let the players play. And to say it's Nate. So, R.J. Harvey also, too, versus the Washington Commanders. He's been taking the ball a little bit. J.K. Dobbins, having a little trouble with J.K. So, hey, why not let him play R.J. Harvey in there? He's kind of been there. And Sean Tucker versus the Arizona Cardinals. Sean Tucker had a good week.
Yeah, he did. Syracuse. Shout out Syracuse.
There you go. I knew you.
Shout out.
That. I knew you like it. I was getting ready to say it if you didn't. So, yes, I knew you would like that. But Sean Tucker versus the Arizona Cardinals and Parker Washington versus the Tennessee Titans.
Yep, I like that.
Let my man catch the ball in a division game on top of that, too.
Yep.
Hey, go ahead and get yourself paid, young man. Get these fantasy owners some much-needed points and maybe a win because playoffs is coming. Don't sleep on these guys.
I like it. And Parker Washington's becoming essentially the number one there in Jacksonville. I really like that. That's a great pick there. So who are we not sleeping on? I got to go Shedeur Sanders. Look, the hype is real. Is it really real? But it looks real. So Shedeur Sanders breathing some life into that Cleveland Browns team. Go for it. And my man Dylan Sampson, it's Sheila. Mama fell. My man Dylan Sampson, I got to throw that in there here. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Again, classic movie. No, that wasn't that. No, that was Sam. No, that was shoot. No, that was the wrong one. That was heck. What am I thinking? Half Baked. I'm sorry. See, that's why. See, sometimes I can't remember stuff. That was back in the day where we had a little problem, so I couldn't get the right movie there. But yeah, that was Half Baked there. I gotta get that back to Dave Chappelle. But Dylan Sampson, great compliment to Quinson Judikins. He's catching the football out of the backfield. I think Shedeur Sanders, being a rookie, has been really relying on the run game. So I like Dylan Sampson versus the 49ers. And Michael Wilson for the Arizona Cardinals. Dude, he's had 18 targets, 15 targets the past 2 weeks. He is becoming a number one option there in Zona. So going against Tampa Bay, they're going to have to put some points on the board. Jacoby Brissett, I know it's turkey time, but a little Brissett on things, this weekend, just to change it up from turkey. He's been playing phenomenal there in Arizona. And Colby Parkinson for the Rams. making a name for himself, going against those Bucks, becoming a big tight end target there for Mr. Matthew Stafford. So Kobe Parkinson, guys, you got to check him out, pick him up. Do not sleep. And you know what? That's our sleepers. That's our picks. This has been a lot of fun here, Mr. Podcast Smitty, and I do appreciate you. And guys, we appreciate you being here and joining us Thanksgiving Eve. For myself, a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Guys, be safe, be responsible. Thank you all for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. Mr. Podcast Smitty, what are you excited about this weekend? And give me your favorite food right now that you're waiting for, that you're going to have on Thanksgiving.
Man,
What did you just waiting for?
What
are you just waiting for?
Whew. I'm excited to be off this Thanksgiving. Last year I worked half a day. It got a little bit overtime last year. But this time around, I said, nah, I'm going to go ahead and enjoy these next 2 days. Looking forward to watching some minor league hockey in my hometown, the Greensboro Gargoyles. Now they're in a different affiliate league. Looking forward to that, to watching that tonight, actually. Tonight, I may say that. Yes, tonight I'll be watching that. And then, of course, spending time with the family. And, man, what can I say? My favorite article I'm looking forward to is the collard greens.
Ooh, okay.
I'm looking forward to the collard greens. I grill collard greens. So I'm going to be putting the collard greens on the grill next to the turkey smoker right here. Going to have some smoked turkey, but those collards right there, whew, looking forward to it. That's the country boy right there in me. So, yes.
I like it. I'm looking forward to the late night turkey sandwich because, look, I love the turkey. I love the stuffing and the potatoes, but you eat early. You do that 1-2 o'clock kind of brunch. You stuff yourself a little bit, then you take a nice little nap, and then about 8-9 o'clock at night, you're like, man, all right. Then you get yourself some toast and get yourself a nice turkey sandwich. So I like that second helping of turkey that night, because then you just switch it up here. And then so watching some late night football, you get yourself a little late night sandwich. But yes, cannot wait to hang out. I am off too. I cannot wait to hang out with family and friends. So again, guys, from the Boom Broadcasting Network, to all you out there, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you all for watching us. Like and subscribe. If you got any comments, questions, just drop us a line here. We do appreciate it. And have a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving, guys. Peace.